Well, we had to get to Triple Nose eventually, huh? Mr. MAGA himself, Triple H, has definitely carved out a unique place for himself in wrestling history, just by honestly being the most persistent dude ever. This guy arguably slept his way to the top, but dear lord, he worked hard to get into the position of dating the boss's daughter. Regardless of that, we're going to take a look at one of the most prolific wrestlers ever in gaming. Triple H has 39 unique attires spanning literally dozens of games. Let's go. Well, we're not exactly starting off with a bang at number 39. This suited attire from WrestleMania 19 isn't exactly a looker. The gray undershirt with the all-black suit looks kinda odd to me. It's definitely not his best look. Our runner-up for the worst attire stems from SVR05, and it's got a peculiar origin. If you played SVR5, you know that the alt attires are very few and far between. So somehow, all of Evolution got suited attires in this game that released right after Randy Orton left Evolution. I feel bad for the devs in that point. Hunter doesn't look all too fantastic here though. This is super bland color-wise, and it's just not for me. I didn't think I'd be covering ring gear so soon, but Battlegrounds DX Alt was definitely one of the worst. These trunks are pretty odd. The cross decal under the DX paint is super obscured where it wasn't in other games, and there's no back decal here, which is super dull. And the OG DX shirt was ancient at the time that Hunter was doing this reunion run in 06. There's much better DX attires elsewhere, and I don't even like DX or their aesthetics. We're on to our final suited Hunter attire with SVR07, which was another game that didn't have a lot of alts. So I found it pretty odd that Triple H almost always had alt costumes in these games. It's almost like they were picking favorites. He's rocking the Motorhead mustache here, but honestly, the black on black suit is kinda hard. I like it. Warzone is our 35th entry, and this is a doubleheader. The tights here add a dash of blue, which should edge them above the other 97 attires, but unfortunately, we're missing an entrance rope here, so that's a bit of a bummer. At least the alt of this attire has the old DX cutoff tee. When I was doing my research for the rankings, I remembered this stupid ass attire, and the Jericho story mode hit me like a sleeper agent. This is dumb as fuck. Why did they add this attire to exhibition mode? I kinda miss how fun SVR was. More fun fits are on the way as we move to 33's No Mercy ref attire. This is a given if you're a longtime attire rankings fan. I mean, these referee attires were always funny. The fact that they gave him a muscle tee and track pants here is just the cherry on top for me. 32 brings us to Legends of WrestleMania, and this is definitely 96 era Triple H from Mania 12. The high-ass gray socks are fucking ridiculous, and the white accents on the pants are a bit of a welcome status quo change. But unfortunately, once again, we don't have an entrance rope here. That's tragic. Back to No Mercy, just missing our top 30 with this athletic jersey for Hunter. This is one I always wanted growing up. It's super simple, but it's a pretty appealing monotone design, and the track pants from earlier are reappearing. This isn't a bad street clothes attire at all. WWE Mayhem's only appearance in the countdown is here with Hunter's 2018 era vest that looks straight out of that horrible Saudi match. The vest itself screams of aging straight white male to me, but the decal on it ain't horrible. The generic trunks are a bit of a letdown though. At the least, I guess the elbow pads have decals. Like, this is a bit of a wash for me. Back to street clothes now for another SVR 2011 alt, being his shirt from a lame era of Hunter's career. The jeans here are super 2000s-esque, and the tradition of his merch shirts totally sucking is upheld here. This looks like one of those old Affliction shirts, and not a good one. 28 brings us to WWE 12, a game that he was weirdly super prominent in, and this attire is the updated tiny CrossFit. It retains SVR 2010's elbow pads and boots, but the tiny lettering here genuinely made me laugh when I saw it. This gear is kinda weak. I was prepared to commend 2K for Hunter's 02 to 04 showcase having so many new attires for him, but on further inspection, only one singular attire from the 2K15 showcase was new for him in these games. The Raw casket match fit against Kane was reused incorrectly in so many matches in this mode, it's not even funny. This is pretty on brand for him though as an attire. It's kind of like a precursor to the 08 trunks. It's got this weird four-sided cult-esque logo in the middle that I'm not going to look into because I like being monetized. And he's already doing a lot with all these iron crosses everywhere, like, I'm not going to bother. This is pretty underwhelming though as an attire. Well, the 08 trunks I spoke of a second ago are here in SVR09 for number 26. This game truly marked the lame aging main event glory hound era of Triple H for me, and after he came back in 2007, he kinda took his foot off the gas in my eyes. That might have been that both of his quads were fucked at that point, but I don't know man, he was kinda washed. The boots are recycled from SVR08 here, but the trunks are brand new, adding a little skull into the cross. Everything about this fit is just super indicative of the late 2000s to me, and not in a good way. Moving on, we got SmackDown Shut Your Mouth's white shirt attire, and first off, more jeans for Hunter. How refreshing. This is an eclectic pick for a merch shirt though. I mean, the Pain is Temporary shirt isn't one of his more popular ones, but I will admit the white shirt and the red accents here pop pretty well. Unfortunately, this attire as a whole is pretty forgettable. We're not beating the washed allegations here in 2K14 with this Mania 29 attire. The short haircut and the black wrist straps mixed with the new aged gold crosses with the skulls and hammers are all here, and man, this dude was kinda cooked back in the day. I don't know. The only thing that keeps this attire relatively high is the objective level of detail in this design. Like, it's pretty well thought out. SmackDown 1 is up next, and this is certainly 99 era Triple H trying to break out of the upper mid card. The trunks logos reflect that. The all lowercase HHH on the back is so fucking funny to me. It's like the logo hasn't evolved yet and hit its final form. They thankfully didn't skimp on any wrist tape or pads either. The SmackDown games were known for doing that. But this is a nice little clean attire for Hunter. WWF Attitude is up next for 22, and this dude got a lot of palette swaps in the DX tights coming up. This blue shade isn't bad at all, it's just kinda unremarkable in the grand scheme of things. 21 is truly the Triple H model that defined my childhood, SVR05's Royal Rumble 04 tights, and they're kinda tough. The weird no facial hair model here is burned into my memory, and the trunks decal actually looks kinda nice when it's blown up like that. This is super derivative of prior trunks for him, but it's not bad at all. The 2K15 showcase even added the WrestleMania 20 white boots to this fit, like, it's not a sleeper. The top 20 Triple H attires kicks off as SmackDown 2, and this is a memorable attire. To the untrained eye, it's just a recycled SmackDown 1 costume, but unfortunately, I've been staring at these similar ass trunks for hours and hours now, so I could tell that the front decal is repeated on the back here, where it wasn't in SmackDown 1. I think this looks more cohesive than the prior entry, and just bring its recycling of this in a higher quality model makes it look even better. We're jumping all the way to 2K25 with the 97 Hunter here, and this adds a nice little red robe, but I do prefer other future 97 entries that you'll see later in terms of the robes. Unfortunately though, the pants here are just as plain as they always were in 97. SVR07 is a goated game, but dear lord, this attire is extremely slightly altered from SVR05. I barely noticed. The Harley Race mustache kicks ass though. These trunks are just so damn derivative. For what it's worth though, SVR08 actually recycled these trunks while updating his boots. Like, these are alright. 17 brings us to my favorite 97 attire from WWE 13. I actually really liked this costume as a kid, and this jacket goes hard as fuck. The color scheme is really nice, and the logos on the sleeves and the back are just great. Granted, the pants are literally just tight black jeans with a belt, but the robe pulls everything together. We're gonna jump back to SmackDown Shut Your Mouth for the default attire, and this harkens back to WrestleMania 18. Getting some accent color in these trunks was long overdue at this point. The Iron Cross logo being so prominent is a lot for me in 2025, but it's appealing if you turn your brain off all the way. The red accents pop a lot, and this is pretty simple, but it's not unlikable from Triple Fraud. Here Comes the Pain is being brought to the ranking at number 15, and this red alt is hard as hell. Triple H did a lot of gear experimenting in 03 and I can commend it, honestly. The red really looks great here, and granted, every Here Comes the Pain attire is a palette swap, but this one works for me. Jumping all the way to 2K16 for another modern attire, and this was a nice change of pace for the time, for sure. It's certainly different, and it originates from that lame-ass Sting match at WrestleMania 31. The elbow pads and knee pads here are updated, but it's still very much in line with Hunter's looks at the time. And the little tiny HHH decal on the back matching the small indistinguishable skull genuinely got a laugh from me. I did not expect to enjoy this gear at all. Talk about unexpected triumphs though, 2K22 went surprisingly hard. I'm surprised that he still even made new gear at this point in his life, but I actually love the little cerebral assassin design on the trunks, and the boots and elbow pads are both unique here as well. Even the back lettering looks sweet with the big ass sledgehammers. This is the oldest I've ever seen this dude look, IRL or in a video game, but this gear is pretty fun. Well, we got a throwback to Backlash 01, and man, that show itself was such a letdown from the death of the Attitude Era. I hated that the showcase match didn't have entrances either, but the trunks here are pretty clean. I like the game decal on Hunter. I'm sure it's really the only super appealing thing about this attire, but it's not playing into the same repetitive, monotonous style of the other trunks, so I put it a bit higher. This was certainly a look. Triple H in the double denim leather jacket fit was ridiculous, but insanely memorable. The decal on the back is pretty vibrant too, and it stands out for sure. I just think that this overall outfit for him looks kinda stupid. But at least other people liked it, I guess. Our top 10 Triple H attires are finally upon us with SVR08's DX alt kicking it off. One thing that always kind of pissed me off about this alt as a kid is a minor nitpick. The default costume is just recycled from 07, but this attire has a red cross decal as the base under the DX logo. Why couldn't we just get a standard red cross attire for the default? Granted, these trunks are pretty fun though. The red and green hues pop super well, and it's really great just getting some contrast with these visually redundant attires. Number 9 is a 2K19 representative. The cross elbow pads are back, and the boots here even have a tiny decal on them. This trunks design is admittedly only marginally different from the norm though, but it looks pretty clean. The lettering on the back is nice as well, and I mean this outfit looks a little try-hard to me as a whole, but it's wrestling. Everybody looks like a tryhard. A color swap of Backlash 01 is our number 8 entry, with No Way Out 01 being showcased here. The red and white accents on the black trunks just really work super well for me. This was a very underrated fit, and it's just a shame that this was the default long hair attire for Triple H for like literally a million 2K games after that. Well, we knew that zombie Triple H was coming, right? This is a super SVR coded idea for an attire, and I love it. I remember seeing this trailer in high school and just losing my shit. The crown that's super glued to his head is awesome. The eyes with no pupils are great. The withered tape is a really nice touch, and I really love the green veiny skin. This attire recycles 2K17's gear, but I enjoy it. I'm just really surprised that Hunter wasn't in the 2K originals looking like this. You're telling me we couldn't get a partner for Pilgrim Rusev? Moving on, we got WrestleMania 30 from the 2K19 showcase, and this is super fun. The updated elbow pads and decals are cool here, and the design on the trunks have this weird tendency in these newer games of shrinking in scale. It doesn't look bad though. The little sledgehammers coming out of the skull is cute, and 2K24 even upgraded this by adding correct entrance gear that's actually removed in the entrance motion. That's sick as fuck, props to them. Our top 5 Triple H game attires are upon us with this WWE 13 98 DX attire. This is baller as hell. I love the blood stamp logo merch shirt. The DX colored tights are really simplistic but super memorable and appealing. I can't say I'm much of a DX guy, but I really appreciate this look. Our next entry is super polarizing, but I stand by my number 4 pick being SmackDown Here Comes the Pain's default purple trunks. These are ridiculously hard to me. It's almost like a callback to SummerSlam 98, and it's a pretty staunch departure from any trunks he had ever worn at the time. I actually think this colorway and the overall experimentation of Triple H in '03 with his gears has to be commended. The big three Triple H attires are upon us, and the bronze medal goes to this No Mercy merch shirt attire. We got the classic 2000 era Hunter trunks here that are always clean, but the real star of the show is the classic That Damn Good cutoff tee. This shit rules. I almost bought it during COVID, but I ended up getting an Imperium shirt instead. In hindsight, I think I made the right decision. The runner-up for the best Triple H attire in gaming is this WrestleMania 2000 Corporation Trunks ult. This is going to be super divisive, being this high, but I love this look. It's such a small window of Triple H's career that I'm shocked it even made it into a game. But I do think the Trunks decals look better here than they did in WWF Attitude. And the blood stamp decal tee totally ties everything together. This is a super criminally underrated fit for him. Now, if you've watched Triple H for a long time, this pick is hardly a surprise. SummerSlam 98 is absolutely, unequivocally, the best attire of Triple H's ever. I remember seeing the SummerSlam Heritage Basic set of Mattel figures as a kid with this gear on it and snapping that shit up immediately. This is super cool, the colorway is super out of the norm for him, and the early Hunter logos everywhere on the tights and knee pads look great. This is truly undefeated for me in terms of attires. I just wish he didn't ditch the tights so quick into his WWF run. I appreciate your time and support for sticking around. Triple H will always be one of the most polarizing people in wrestling history. And I mean, it's warranted. For better or worse, this guy refuses to go away or to be ignored. Triple H will leave behind a legacy that no one could have foreseen, even when he was the ruler of the main event scene when we were kids. Take it easy, y'all.